Hi everyone. You would think after 2 decades, actually more than 2 decades of running a business, that you would stop at some point making small mistakes that cost you money. But what I'm about to show you is a beautiful, beautiful project where we made a pretty sizable error and could have been avoided. There was some gray zone, but it cost us a good part of our profit, but we left the client thrilled with the work. So let's go and take a look. Okay, so in just a moment, I'm going to flip the camera around and show you the project that we just did. It's a combination of pavers, some new plant material, and enclosure to go around the trash can areas. All right, so here we are taking a look at our new construction project. So what we had before in this area back here, this was all just lawn, grass. It was worn away. It was very little grass left. It's actually mostly mud because you can see with this breezeway cover, it's very shaded back here. So grass really wouldn't grow. So we decided to put this patio in. And with that, when you're putting in a patio, of course, several things have to take place. We want to make sure that we know where all the irrigation lines are running. So we tested the irrigation prior to doing the work so we could make sure that we moved or relocated or rerouted any pipes that were necessary. We built this on a crushed stone base, crusher run base, about 4 inches thick. And we had some elevation changes that we had to deal with. Here on this side, we dealt with the elevation change by sloping it with the grass. Now on the other side, we actually built a small retaining wall. But first, let me explain the mistake that cost us. The client's thrilled, and we were happy to amend it. But this was a design that the HOA gave to us to build the fence. Now, it wasn't real clear from the picture that we got whether this was the outside or the inside. So typically when we build a fence, you were trained to think that the good side always faces out. So it was my impression, my mistake, probably a rookie mistake, but as a veteran, I screwed up and I thought, okay, the good side would be all the fence panels facing out, and this X bracing would be on the inside. And that's how we built it. And we did a great job. It looked absolutely awesome, but it was wrong. The HOA said, no, that's supposed to go to the outside. So we don't give any argument to that. We said, okay, we'll rebuild it. So it came out in one day and we rebuilt it. This gate is for the trash cans. Now check this out. Down here, take a look. We got a little wheel here. The wheel doesn't touch the ground here, but in a minute, you'll see where that comes in handy. So we open up the gate. They've got access to the recycle bin as well as their trash can. And right behind it, they've got their AC unit. There's still plenty of airflow around it. And underneath, now look, see right about here. Let me show you this. Right here. This is not touching, the wheel is not touching, but in a minute, because the driveway slopes up, you're gonna see right here, the wheel begins to touch. And the gate can ride on that wheel, so the gate that'll keep the gate from sagging down, because the wheel will support its weight. One other thing that I wanna show you in here is this. You see down below this white pipe? It's a 3/4 inch pipe. That pipe is for the condensate on this AC unit. Now, the problem is these are little nitpicking errors that I pointed out. The customer didn't see it. But the problem is that pipe stops about 6 inches short of those pavers. So one thing I want to do is come back and I want to extend that pipe to be on top of the pavers so water will come out. I want that pipe to end right about here so the water will discharge onto the pavers, and eventually these pavers are going to be sealed, so it won't matter, but the water will discharge on the pavers and run off in that direction down here instead of discharging into the dirt and just ending up with a whole bunch of mud back here. So I'm going to extend that. Another thing I don't like, you guys have probably already noticed it, is I don't like how tall we left these and kind of unfinished. I think these need to be cut down in half, and then we can put like a post cap on it, or a post cap with a light. So I'm going to cut those down right here where we're up against the wall. I think this 2x4 needs to just be flush cut even. So I'm going to come back and make these little changes. In about 30 to 45 days, about 45 days, this will be ready to seal. Prior to sealing, what we'll do is we'll do a mild acid wash on it, and then we'll come back 2-3 days later. We'll look for a week where there's like no rain and it's nice warm temperatures, and we'll let it get real dry again after we clean it, and then we'll go ahead and seal it with an acrylic based, a wet look sealer versus a water base. I know sometimes that concerns people because a wet look sealer can trap in efflorescence if it's put on and you finish. And sometimes we did a job many years ago, probably about 3,500 square feet around a pool, and it looked perfect when we were done, but they had all these white spots underneath, and that's water trapped and efflorescence trapped that did not have a chance to evaporate. Well, I will say this, I have a secret solution for getting rid of that, and that will save you thousands and thousands of dollars. If you ever have a problem with wet look sealer, the official solution is to strip it all down with chemicals, reapply it. It is a huge, monstrous undertaking, and it still could leave your pavers looking jacked up. I have a solution for a couple $100 on making it perfect. So remember, wet look sealer, you have a problem, reach out to me at info@sarroslandscaping.com, and I'll give you the answer. Or if you think you know the answer, put it down in the comments below, and I will pin the correct answer if somebody gets that. Okay, so walking through this, we're used Belgard, Lafitte. No, this is what we used to know as Lafitte rustic slab. This is actually larger. This is Origins 18, and in the Avondale color. And what we did here is we bordered it with Origins 6 in the Belgian blend color. So this thing is all picture framed in. Let me show you here. See, we've got the border all along this, and I think that looks really, really sharp along here. On this deck area, we swapped out. So this deck spanned the whole width back here of the house. Let me show you. You see where we have that white board replaced? This deck spanned the whole width. So we took it out here, and one thing that was kind of difficult, but we made it work, is on this side, you can see they did this little like 45-degree angle thing, which looks kind of nice, but we wanted to match it on this side using their old posts. So you can see this needs to come back with the painter's coming in about 30 days. They're going to fill all the holes and paint everything white again, but we were successfully able to match it and make it relatively even on both sides. I'll tell you one thing that surprised me a lot was this, and this is Ipe wood. I don't know if any of you have worked with this before, but it is an extremely expensive wood, and it is highly recommended that you pre-stain these boards before you put them in, because staining them afterwards would be a nightmare, trying to not get stain on this white part. So we laid all the boards out, we stained them. Now, the other thing that was a new experience for me, and look, we've built probably 100 roughly decks and done deck modifications, but that's not a lot over 20 years. I mean, we're not technically a deck company. It's just my background's in carpentry. So these boards are all tongue and groove with hidden fasteners. And then I realized, wait a minute, I can't use all tongue and groove boards, because along this perimeter, you'll see, we ended up picture framing that in too. Because right here, you'll see, these are solid boards. There's no tongue and there's no groove. So on the and this is exactly 12 feet wide, so we use 12-foot boards. So on the outside here, if these were tongue and groove, what I would be looking at is the tongue and the groove, or actually the two grooves, because they're hidden fasteners. So we had to go back and repurchase some solid boards, about 6 of them, enough for the picture framing and enough to do these stairs. So that looks pretty awesome. So here's the patio itself. Homeowner just has a little fire pit set out, but I think they're planning on putting some Adirondack furniture. Another thing that's going to happen is their painter's going to come back and pressure wash this brick, and they're going to paint this part of the house, and so that's all going to get done. But what was really interesting to me is, like, I had to totally figure this out. I wasn't, dialed into what it was, but here is the existing. Sorry, everybody. Here's the existing. So you can see they have like this molding piece, a whiteboard, and of course here is flashing. So as we come around, I'm gonna make one more cut on this, but this is essentially that molding piece. I just went to Home Depot and I was like, what works? What will make this look like this? So if you look at it from here, that looks almost exactly the same as this. This is the only place you can tell on the end. So that's why I'm gonna probably take a coping saw and just, quickly cut that back. And then again, we've got flashing installed because we want to do that. Put this board back on. And then we finished it off by relocating the sprinklers out to this area. And the neighbor wanted some privacy. So you can see the homes are really close together here. So they wanted to create some privacy. So this is an upright yew, Y-E-W, an upright yew plant. And I love yew plants because I grew up in northern Ohio, and these are very, very popular. These yews are like everywhere. In Georgia, they're popular, but it's just not a plant that you see a ton of. And I use a lot of dwarf yew plants, and I use it because one of the things is I love the foliage on it. When you're working with evergreen plants, one thing you want to note is that you always want to try to have different types of foliage on it, or everything blends together. I'll give you a good example here. Okay, we've got this holly here, and actually that may be a boxwood, but you can see the foliage is like a small, shit, I forget the shape. Anyway, but it's a smaller shape. Look, so when I take this and put it next to this, you get 2 different colors of green, 2 different shapes. These needles are not sharp, so this is really going to give that, and they're brand new. I mean, these have yet to grow. So let me take you back around. Boom. These have yet to grow, so these are actually going to go, higher, and then the homeowner can select, where they want to cut it off, probably 7-8 feet, and give them the privacy that they want back here. And that really is the whole project. I can't think of anything else. So please comment below, again, your solution if wet look paver sealer is trapping water, what you think that solution is. I will pin it after about 2 to 3 days after I post it, the correct solution, but I want to see if one of you guys get it first. Also, if you're in business, try to find a way, if possible. I don't want you to take on more work than you are capable of, but try to say yes when you can. And the example is this: the deck, the Ipe wood, this fence enclosure. We hung all these strands of these Edison lights for the climate. I don't know if you can tell if they're on or not. They flip on right here. They wire into a switch right here. Yeah, you can see they're on. I'm not sure if you can tell. On, off, on, off. Okay, anyway, these look beautiful at nighttime. So when I said try to say yes, it's if we had said we can't build this fence. Maybe you're not real experienced in building a fence, although this is it really does not require a whole lot of carpentry skills. But had we said no to this, it would have delayed our project, one. It would have encouraged the homeowner to have somebody come out and say, oh yeah, we do this. Oh, by the way, we also do pavers. It would have potentially put me in a bad a worse situation where somebody, you know, if you can do it all turnkey, and we can say, yeah, we got a way to hide your trash cans, we can do, you know, all of your pavers, we can do all of your irrigation, we can take care of the deck modifications and the deck work. It secures your position as a turnkey company. Like, do it all under our umbrella. We subcontracted nothing on this project. Everything was done by our employees, and it turned out nice. Little errors. This, too tall, got to cut that down. The condensate line, we got to fix that. You know, the fact that we screwed this up and had to rebuild it, like the good side was out. I mean, you know, when the client told me that, it's like, I don't get upset by that. It is what it is. So just came out, took a day. It did take one full day though. And so that was one full day of labor, one full day of overhead. I mean, that was a pretty expensive hit for us to do that. But again, lesson learned, double check which side is, I mean, this could have been figured out by a simple question rather than an assumption. So I made an assumption and I should have asked a question. So as a seasoned veteran, I forget sometimes to communicate well on things like this, and you know, lesson learned. But again, our client is completely thrilled, and if you like this project and if you like seeing more walkthroughs like this one, please subscribe to our channel. I am trying to actively grow it, and your subscription and your thumbs up and, you know, hitting the bells to get more notifications on videos that we're doing, that goes a long way to help the channel grow. So please take the time to do that. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be bringing more to you as time goes on and as the season goes on. Look for more videos of really cool projects, and that's that. So you can check that out. I think the crew didn't. Oh, one thing I didn't show you, last thing I'll quickly show you right here, is the retaining wall. I mentioned on the other side we had to build a retaining wall. This was really creative. So this is my crew. And what they did, they took these stones that were used as the stone edging, and I'll show you where those are, and then we just took a little stone, made a cap on it, and then we inlaid our Belgian blend band. So we just kind of have this nice little wall that we came up with, you know, kind of created it out of thin air. No, you know, it's not, you know, it's not like it's a big wall, but we needed something to support that edge. So all the rainwater flows off to that corner or flows off of this side. So water's taken care of. So with that, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a great day, and we will see you soon in the next video. Bye.